Do you mind if I ask you a personal follow-up question?
Sure, you can ask me anything.
Did you actually get vetted for this job?
Holy shit, it's gay Reese Witherspoon, and it's gay that one chick from ER. Also, holy shit, this show does a surprisingly good job of making us feel sorry for a rich white lady. If you haven't caved to the Apple Plus pressures yet, The Morning Show is a dramatized series based around a fictionalized Good Morning America type show, with UBA serving as a fictionalized NBC-esque network. The backdrop to this whole series is that the writing very closely mirrors actual real-life scandals that have taken place in recent history on shows like The Morning Show. As recent as just a few days ago, a new article came out talking about how Katie Couric felt betrayed when she found out about Matt Lauer's sexual misconduct scandals. This is almost the literal exact story arc that follows Alex, played by Jennifer Aniston, who is portraying the scorned and betrayed co-host to Mitch, played by Steve Carell. Carell does almost too good of a job portraying this disgraced former national news anchor who gets caught up in a bunch of sexual misconduct scandals. In my opinion, his character is by far the most fleshed out, multi-dimensional character on the show. We'll talk more about that later. Also, at the end of this video, I will give you my overall thoughts and rating of the show as a whole so far. However, my first task at hand is obviously the gay Bradley and Laura. Ooh, Bradley and Laura. What can we say? Well, apparently a lot. Like, we immediately caught this hilarious text exchange between Laura and Bradley. Thank you, lesbian Twitter. I'll do my best in and out of a southern accent Reese Witherspoon impression. You think I'm adult enough to share my own umbrella? You can share mine. I was hoping you would say that. Can't guarantee you'll stay dry, though. She went there. I'm loving that this screenshot proves me right. That whenever she's in the room, ain't a dry vag in the house. Of course, many people love this lestonic union. I still can't get over the fact that Bradley, Laura hold hands while sleeping. I really hope Laura and Bradley are long-term. The way Bradley just stares at Laura like she is the whole world. These two. First off, Juliana Margulies plays Laura, who is a fun, badass lesbian who can rock a mean pony. And I don't know, in a show whose aim seems to at least partly be talking about inequitable relationships in show business, they really seem to love casting middle-aged white people. Of course, this is probably realistic to how the structure of networks like NBC actually look like, so I almost understand it, but I don't care. Of course, Bradley Jackson is played by the talented Reese Witherspoon, who's really seemed to settle into this pattern of playing interesting characters on TV series lately. I'm not sure she totally nails the awkward closeted queer role. To be fair, she probably didn't realize that was part of her character until she saw the scripts for season 2. More importantly, let's talk about their first makeout session in the car. Laura asks a question Bradley can't answer. Did you actually get vetted for this job? And because she can't answer it, she decides to kiss Laura. I'm not gonna lie, this is an effective tactic. I say that because my wife uses this tactic all the time. I really feel like maybe if you picked up your dishes more, maybe they have some queers in the writer's room who decided to troll the whole lesbian community, because this relationship goes from flirtatious coffee meet and greet to makeout sesh in the car in less than 30 seconds of screen time.
I lost a job for being gay. You should embrace it.
I'm just not interested in using my identity like that.
But you don't seem to mind identifying yourself as a Southerner. You are repressed.
I'm not repressed.
I am not repressed, Bradley says, after insisting she's straight even though she's sleeping with another woman. I was fascinated by this discussion between Laura and Bradley about whether Bradley should come out as a queer news anchor. As a gay woman, sure. I have literally been told to my face, I booked you on this show because I needed some diversity. I'm like, don't hurt your shoulder, pan yourself on the back. I'm a white lesbian, but yeah, I'll gay the show up for you. I'll do my bits. Laura is pointing this out to Bradley. Bradley is fighting it, and Laura's saying, hey, maybe it's not that you're so pious and you're just too virtuous to use your sexuality. Maybe you came from this super conservative environment and there's some other stuff going on there. Perhaps a little repression. I imagine there are a fair amount of actual discussions that take place like this between celebrities and their hidden partners. It's 2021. How can you still be in the closet? Versus, it's 2021. Why the do I have to come out of the closet?
Great.
Hey, look, if you want to leave some stuff here, I've got plenty of closet space. There's no reason for you to be running back and forth.
Look at her face. Look at her face. Look at our girl Reese giving us the, oh my god, this is us living out that lesbian U-Haul joke I never understood until now face. Of course they have Laura trying to lock up Bradley like she's a damn werewolf. They have gone full nuclear lesbian on us. One of the most captivative moments between Laura and Bradley is when they go on air together live for the first time. But of course, we have to view this through the eyes of Corey, the unrequited, pained love. I'd say by far my least favorite part about the portrayal of this sapphic relationship is that the show cares oh so much about how the powerful straight male lording over them reacts to this relationship. Now, for those of you wondering if the show is worth the watch or not, of course it is. It's gay Reese Witherspoon, but that doesn't necessarily mean I think it's perfect. Here's my analysis. The writers do everything they can to show how a person can be a good person and a bad person all at the same time. If there's any steady beat to this story, it's a beat that speaks to the duality of man, how he can be a savior to some and a devil to others, all within the same space and time frame. It bears saying, the idea that a show being propped up by real life sexual misconduct scandals, the idea that that show is choosing to heavily focus on the perspective of the male offender bothers me. As good as this show is, when I looked it up and discovered it was created by a man and based on a book written by a man, to say I wasn't shocked would be the understatement of the year. If there is a second theme to this show, it is most certainly redemption. Bradley seeks redemption for her past of bouncing around in her career. Alex seeks redemption for being a narcissist. And of course, throughout both seasons of the series, Mitch is seeking redemption for his sexual misconduct. Now, I will say, the scene between Mitch and the Harvey Weinstein-esque character, one of the most fascinating scenes of the whole show. Just one predator recognizing a bigger predator in the ocean. A consistent theme in my review of this show has been me wondering if the show is like trolling itself. I mean, they built a whole series around predators and misogynists, and it looks to me like in their attempt to demonstrate these predators and misogynists in actions, they're simultaneously lifting their voices up. And I know some people watching this will disagree. They'll say the show goes just as deep with Alex and Bradley. But I don't know. Mitch's character just feels so fully realized, so fully painted and fleshed out. This show feels closer to a mob movie than it does content that could be easily chopped up and eaten on lesbian TikTok, which doesn't automatically make it bad. The relationship itself is very interesting, and so is the show, by the way. To be fair, the show is extremely entertaining, and it's high quality content. I mean, the budget, obviously millions and millions of dollars are being spent on the production value of this series. All right, if you're still with me, I want to give you a high five through the screen. We made it! I finally talked about gay Reese. Keep the review suggestions coming in the comments, by the way. I've got some stuff on my list that you all have requested in the past, like Feel Good and It's in the Water, but keep them coming. All right, I'm Amanda. This is my Really Gay YouTube channel. I'll see you next video.